What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we are going to be talking yet again about Spider-Man in the MCU. So today we are going to be talking specifically about the differences between two directors, two different styles of Spider-Man. But Mike, how can there be two different Spider-Man? There are two different Spider-Man in this universe because of these directors not communicating apparently with each other and how different these two versions of the character are. So, yeah, let's talk about the differences between the Russo brothers' Spider-Man and Jon Watts' version of Spider-Man. This video was requested by Sloppy Joe. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. So where do I even begin with this? I did research for this video before I even thought about making this video. And wow, this is why I usually don't look up stuff. This is why I usually like to play dumb, because this is the type of stuff, at least with this type of things, like the knowledge of certain people, because this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. So I did research on Jon Watts. I learned a little bit about some of the movies he's made. And going off of that has made me question Marvel's decisions. Because if you go back and you look at his movies, like the movies that he's directed, you're gonna be surprised. This guy has only made 5 movies. 5 movies. Okay, so what movies did he make besides Far From Home and Spider-Man Homecoming, right? Before those movies, he made The Cop Car, which was terribly reviewed. That came out in 2015. He made Clown. That came out in 2014. And then he made Clay Pride, Body Clay in America. That came out like 18 years ago. Like, what the fuck? And all these movies have been terribly reviewed, by the way. These movies have been terribly reviewed. They're just, wow. I'm just surprised. I am shocked by this level of idiocy. Like, honestly. Like, was Marvel drunk? They were like, who the fuck's Jon Watts? Oh, fuck, we just hire him, okay? Does he know anything about Spider-Man? No? Okay, we'll just tell him. We'll tell him what we want, and, that's what we'll do. Was that the discussion, literally, with the mouse himself, just in his big old high chair? He's like, like, honestly, was that the discussion? Because I'm starting to think it was. So he's made 5 movies by what I've discovered. 5 movies! And then he went on hiatus until 2014? Like, what a lazy bastard. Anyway, let's talk about the Russo brothers. I actually did some research on them. They actually, okay, fine, they themselves have did some crummy movies. But the Russos have gone on record to say that they know about the characters from the comics, they know what they're doing with the characters, and they know everything they need to know to put them in the movies correctly. Jon Watts, on the other hand, has gone on record saying he doesn't know a goddamn thing about Spider-Man, okay? And this is where we get to the actual video. So, what are the differences between Spider-Man Jon Watts version and the Russo brothers Spider-Man version? Well, let's talk about that. Let's first talk about the Civil War. So the Civil War, right? When he first shows up, when we first see him. And I myself saw him and I was like, woo, Spider-Man! Spider-Man is back! Spider-Man! You see Spider-Man? He's here. He's back. He's home. He's home again. Oh, look at him interact with all those people. Even though I didn't like what they were doing with Iron Man in that movie, but that was whatever, right? I was like, whatever. And I was like, oh, Spider-Man Homecoming? Is Spider-Man Homecoming gonna, is he gonna, fucking bust a move, like break dance and shit. Like, oh, I was like, oh man. I guess I just overhyped myself for that movie, only for that movie to come out and completely derailed me and completely blow my mind up to the point where I am now here making this video, apparently. So, let me get more specific about what the details are. So, what was the one difference about Spider-Man that you noticed in Homecoming and Civil War? Time's up. Spider Sense. Oh God. Hey buddy, I think you lost this. It's like, I know this is not a comic book, but the Spider Sense is just, it's right fucking there! Don't you see Spider Sense was non-existent in Homecoming. Okay? Spider Sense, he realized it didn't develop. What is John Watts saying? He even made excuses. He's like, oh, his Spider Sense needs time to develop. No, it doesn't. Okay? But yet in Civil War, you're telling me, and this is where we fucking have fights. This is where we have fights online. Okay? Civil War, it's clear as fucking day. It's clear as fucking day. It's clear as fucking day. It's clear as fucking day that he has Spider Sense in that scene. Okay? At that airport scene. It's clear as fucking day. Okay? It's clear as fucking day. So, that's number one, is the Spider Sense thing. Number two, he's not funny. Like when John Watts or whoever writes this movie, directing, he does not write him to be funny. All the people around him are either funny, or his best way of being funny when John Watts does it is his expressions. Hey everyone. Okay, so the craziest thing just happened, right? I was there in a fight with Captain America and I stole his shield and I threw it at him. What the hell? He's big now. I gotta go. Hang on. Holy shit! Like, for example, Far From Home. Was there one joke that actually made you laugh from Spider-Man? Besides his facial expressions? The answer is no. The answer is fucking no. Okay? The only thing that got a chuckle or agreed with him for once in the whole fucking cinematic universe was that scene where him and Happy and Aunt May are just, whatever, and he's just standing there like what happened? And he's got this like this expression is that supposed to make me laugh? Does he ever make a joke? No. He makes more jokes in Civil War than he does in his entire fucking movie. Okay? That's a problem. You go back and you watch Civil War. What is one of the lines that I can remember from him saying? Like, oh, when his Spider Sense goes off, and then like Bucky throws something at him, and then Spider-Man is like, "Hey, buddy, I think you lost this," and he throws it back at him. That's fucking awesome. That was funny and that was cool. That was a scene where I was like, okay, he's not only being funny, but he's being awesome too at the same time with his super strength. The Russo brothers know what they're doing. Okay. We've already established, it's been what? 6 months. 6 months is enough time to develop Spider Sense, his super strength, to understand his powers and abilities, okay? That is the thing that I think John Watts does not understand, or he just didn't watch Civil War, because that's stupid. And then we get to Infinity War, okay? Admittedly, but here's the thing. The Russo brothers, again, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. When what is a memorable joke in that one? Okay, I will admit, when it comes to the Russo brothers, they got to give him more than just pop culture references with movies. Like they did that with Star Wars too, in Civil War, where he's like, "Oh, you guys remember that movie where all those flying thingies?" And while he's like wrapping up Ant-Man in the web and all that, like in Star Wars, there's a Star Wars joke, even though Spider-Man in the comics hates Star Wars. fuck logic, like just fuck comic book accuracy. Anyway, that's another time. That's me and the Russo brothers that I have a problem with at that point. So, okay, so, so we've established that he is funny. He actually makes funny jokes when the Russo brothers actually give him good lines. But you look at Jon Watts, and Jon Watts gives him shit. If you were going to do something like that, you should have made it more funny with him. You should have made it more funny with what he says rather than his expressions. Jon Watts goes off of his expressions, like when he expresses the face on, like, oh yeah, I want your face to look like this. You know, like that's what he does. He doesn't actually have lines that he can read that are actually funny. Like, that's the problem here. Okay, let's look at Infinity War. Here's another big difference between these two directors. Remember when Spider-Man was afraid of heights in Homecoming? Remember that scene? When he was like, oh God. Okay, fine, fair enough. He's afraid of heights, right? That was one of the things I actually did complain about in my review. Because I'm so used to him not being afraid of heights and all that other bullshit. But then we get to Infinity War, and then Spider-Man is like doing loop-de-loops and saving Mantis and saving Iron Man and Drax and everybody, and he's just, he's being like incredible. He's being incredible. He's like, and then remember the scene when he's in the school bus, and then he has his friend like make a distraction, and then he sneaks out of the bus somehow without Stan seeing him. Miss you, Stan. Love you, buddy. Somehow doesn't see him. He jumps off of the bridge and swings. So a guy that's afraid of heights, he's afraid of heights. You have established that he is afraid of heights. So you're telling me in Homecoming he just got over it. Okay. But now he's just not afraid of heights anymore. Unless in Far From Home, he's afraid of heights again. Right? Wouldn't that be convoluted as fuck? Wouldn't it also be convoluted as fuck? I guarantee. See, if they do this, if he doesn't have spider sense in Far From Home, there's gonna be a backlash. Not just from Marvel Comics fans, but from MCU fans in general. Because Spider-Man is a well-established known character, and you have two directors with two different ideas. One of them doesn't work, one of them does. You need to do the one that works. You need to have your directors communicate with each other. Obviously, if you're watching each other's movies or not, you know, I've heard that sometimes some of those people don't even watch each other's movies. They don't even actually pay attention to each other because they have so many sections cut off from their fucking industry that they can't always keep track of everything. Because the mouse is just sitting there like, ha ha! That's what he's doing. He's just like getting drunk and he's like, ha ha! Like that's what he does. Because the mouse is lazy as fuck. Lazy as fuck to the point where he destroyed Star Wars. That's a whole nother topic. But those were a couple examples of the differences between those characters, okay? I wanted to establish that, okay? I wanted to fully establish that because, obviously because someone asked me to do this and because after I found out that this Jon Watts only made 5 fucking movies. 5 movies! On record, 5. Including Far From Home, and it's not even out yet. 5 movies. And if you go back and you see his history, his movies aren't reviewed very well. And if you go and look at Homecoming, it's a 73 on Metacritic. I didn't look at the Metacritic score. I actually should have probably looked at the audience rating for Spider-Man Homecoming. I actually didn't. Because I was just so focused on getting this stuff done. So I don't know. I hope that made sense to you guys. I know that was a rant. It's been a while since I did a rant. I guess that's my way of coming back and saying hi to you guys. So, that's all I have to say. I hope I've made that very clear. The differences between these two versions of the character and how Marvel needs to fix it. You need to fix it. And if Jon Watts goes ahead and does it again, where he doesn't have spider sense, there's going to be a backlash because you've established now that he has spider sense. It's already bad enough that he had spider sense in Civil War, and then you just got rid of it in Homecoming. But if you get rid of it again in Far From Home, there's going to be backlash. There's going to be backlash. I even heard that Far From Home is going to be really different because of the whole stones thing, like the Infinity Stones. So fix it, because that's all I have to say. So let me know what you guys think about Jon Watts and his directing of Spider-Man versus the Russo brothers' version of Spider-Man. And which version do you like more? Do you like the way Jon Watts has portrayed Spider-Man in the movies, or do you prefer the Russo brothers? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you guys for watching. And I'm out of here. Up and away. See you guys.